Welcome to Trail Talks, a podcast discussing the opportunities students have with career services. And now, from Utah Tech University, it's Trail Talks.
Hello. Hey, I am Asha Stapley, and my guest is going to run over here in just a few short seconds. We are visited by Shawn Denevan. He's actually manning the sound table over there. So he's prepping, getting everything ready. And that's actually what we're talking about. And that's why I wanted to have him on the podcast in the first place. Hello.
Yeah, you have to have the headphones on to be a proper broadcaster. So, I needed to pause for that half second.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning. How does it feel to be on this side?
That's always awkward.
Is it?
Oh, yeah. It's nice to be the guy in the chair over there pushing all the buttons, but now I'm over here having to be like, I have to answer questions or something.
Yeah. Well, you get to talk about your life.
Yeah,
so
it's not always great. I mean, no, it's fantastic.
Okay, so Shawn, talk to us about your journey. How did you get started, and then how did you end up here?
How much time you got?
Well, we have 23 minutes.
All right, well, let's get to it there. I grew up listening to radio like most kids, and I liked it, and it was cool, and it was neat. And in my teenage years, I started DJing dances, which I thought was cool and neat. And then I had to take a drama class my junior year in high school, and we had a radio play assignment. So I took all the DJ equipment home, got some friends over, and we recorded a fake radio show.
Oh.
And so I played it in class. And like most things that happen in life, the cute girl behind me said, "You should go into radio."
Oh, so it's to fill that dream.
Yeah. So I blame her for all these bad broadcast decisions I've made for the last 30-something years, whatever. It's always a woman. And there was a high school in our area that had a radio station. So I transferred high schools, took radio, and then college radio, and then bounced around the country being a wacky morning DJ and trying to do different things, and then ended up in St. George, and then here at Utah Tech. So that's the condensed version, but I've been in, San Francisco and San Jose and Seattle and Bellingham, Washington, Elko, Nevada, Mankato, Minnesota, Avon, Colorado. I'm missing a few here. I don't even know where I've been, but yeah, you work someplace and it's like, oh, hey, things have changed. We don't need you. So you pack up your gear and you move to a different city and start over again.
Oh my goodness.
So I got tired of that very quickly and landed back here in Utah.
Yeah. So is it kind of an industry that
Completely volatile.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, one day you think everything's great, the next day you're fired.
Oh.
For no reason. Just, hey, yeah, you're gone. Bye.
Because there's a new up-and-coming thing, or you do something wrong?
No, that's just it.
Oh.
It's just we don't want you here anymore. You're gone.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, I mean, you change channels without thinking twice, right?
That's true.
And you don't, it's the same thing with radio DJs and the radio industry. So they say if you haven't been fired 5 times in radio, then you haven't really worked in radio.
Interesting.
Yeah. So whenever.
So how long could a typical job last? Like just a couple months?
My shortest job was 3 days? 2 days.
Like you had moved there 3 days, and then they said goodbye, and then you had to move somewhere else again?
Kind of.
Oh my goodness.
So actually, no, this one was a little one different. So I showed up 5 minutes late.
Oh.
And it was like the second day, and it was 5 o'clock in the morning, and it was one of these things, new city, and wasn't aware of traffic at 5 a.m. and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so at 5 o'clock in the morning, the guy fired me.
Oh, no.
In the elevator of the parking garage, because I didn't have a key to get in yet. Uh-huh. So, ding, he opened up the elevator. Yeah, this isn't working out. Let me see your key. I'm like, well, it's not working. Yeah, all right, I'll send you your last check. Ding! And all of a sudden, like, the door's shut. I'm just like, it's 5:05 in the morning. I just got fired from a radio job.
So don't be late on your second day of work, I guess?
Yeah, something like that. And honestly, it wasn't going to work out anyway, but
right.
It's a good story now.
Well, yes. So how do you get into that type of business then?
So you
started, well, the students want to.
No, they don't.
If students are clicking on this episode, hopefully they want to.
This is what I've been noticing with radio, at least my experience here. Most of the students who have radio jobs now, most of them are doing sports broadcasting.
Okay.
And so that's what they want to do. They want to be the big time ESPN, Fox Sports News. And so they come here and they do a bunch of our sports programming, and then they get a job. I have two former students who are working at separate ends of Iowa in different cities as sports directors, and a couple guys up in Salt Lake and stuff. So as for students who want to be the top 40 DJ, that's not going to happen most likely.
Right.
But I say, hey, there's other things you can learn here. There's things you can learn with your social media and content creation and whatnot. But as for being like, hey, here's the wacky morning DJ, got a stack of wax for all you Jills and Jacksons, top 40 countdown, all right. Not so much.
Look at you. Listen to that voice, audience. It's got a great radio voice.
Well, yeah, I mean, but you come here.
Lots of practice.
You can do the radio thing, and then if you want to do voiceover, that's a huge thing now. If you want to do audiobooks, that's a huge thing. Podcasting, and that's all where the voice gets involved. And so I turned on the wacky voice for a second, and this is more or less my talking voice. But if I just bring it down just a little bit, now I'm kind of doing my radio voice a little bit. And if I want to do some sort of acting voice, or maybe a commercial, or maybe something else, just kind of bring up the dramatic flair a little bit, slow down, focus on the diction and enunciation a little bit more.
Oh my goodness. Now I'm going to be thinking about my own voice and as I speak.
But that's not just radio. That's 20 other industries that are out there.
So many skills. So even if you do end up taking a radio class, you're still gaining experience for other
You can voice over your own TikToks. You don't need that TikTok voice girl. You can do your own voiceovers.
That's true. Well, can we talk about the evolution and the transformation that's happened over radio?
I can't. I'm not going to allow that one.
Okay.
No. Where do you want to start with that?
Well, just so essentially, I think maybe people have.
Oh, speaking of, get closer to the mic.
Yeah, am I not close enough?
No, it's not. Yeah.
Oh, see, I need him close to me.
See, watch me. Watch. You see how close I am? You see how I get those deep voices? And see if you get right on top of it.
Yeah.
I'm just like a quarter inch away, half inch away.
Practice of this. Oh my gosh, I don't like listening to that.
No, but then it's soothing as you listen to it. And it's the midnight train sounds of lovers after midnight. Give me a call and I'll send you a shout out. You see, something like that.
That's hilarious.
And it's all just... it's like, from 2 inches to the mic to like 1/8 of an inch off the mic.
Just really close.
And then just dropping your voice in volume. You see, it's just little tiny tricks like that. You see how close I am and see how you get in the deeper sounds. Yeah. Yeah, stuff you can learn in the radio class. Yay!
That's fascinating.
Your question about radio.
So, I mean, there's probably a lot of people that think radio is different than what it really is.
Oh, absolutely.
So can you speak to, I guess, what it really is, but then also how it's changed over the past couple of years, too? Because even in the past, I mean, probably AI also is
not yet
transforming it.
Not yet. Everybody's talking about AI. I don't see it doing anything yet. Everyone's freaking out about it, but it's not happening yet.
Okay.
So radio has changed. 1996 was the Telecommunications Act, which basically said if you are a radio owner previous to 96, you can only own like 7 radio stations, period. And then after 96, they said you can own up to 50% of a market. And that turned into huge companies buying up hundreds and even thousands of radio stations and consolidating their workflow and workforce. At the same time, during that late 90s period, we have a lot of IT, we have Windows, we have computers, we have all these things that are jumping up. So companies are looking for ways to cut costs. They fire lots of people and they consolidate. B, they find ways to get automation working. Now we have computers that can do the job of a DJ who had to be there 24/7. Now we have a computer sitting there for 24/7. So that changed the industry big time. It took it away from broadcasters and it put it into the hands of bankers and money makers. One thing people don't realize about radio is it's money.
Right.
Most radio stations are here to make money, period. The music is secondary, the DJs are secondary, the commercials are number one.
It's a business.
Yeah. The whole purpose is to have people listen to your station and listen to your commercials and then have people buy the commercial time. Everything else is, as I said, secondary there. So with that model and trying to save money and get more money for your shareholders and stuff, radio has evolved and changed. You don't have live DJs as much as you used to. A lot of the DJs you hear either pre-recorded or out of market or out of state or satellite or whatnot. And then, of course, what you brought up, AI, this has been something in the last, there's a company called Radio GPT, which I had a very fun conversation with them. Basically, the AI will read what your local social media is talking about. Compare that to what's happening nationwide. Kim Kardashian, just for whatever example. So if Kim Kardashian has a big story and your local people, there's just random people in your area talking about it, then the AI will turn that into a scripted news item with a little joke to go with it.
Oh.
And then with AI voice, turn it into a voice.
Right.
And then throws it into the computer playlist, and then it does it automatically for you.
Automated.
Or if it's talking about the local store that's going to be opening up, or the weather, or sports, and it's all computer generated, all AI generated. And it sounds a little bit better than the TikTok girl. It's not quite perfect, but on the other hand, I'm like, well, if people are used to listening to the TikTok girl, then they're not going to think twice about the radio. You don't need to have all your DJs talking like this.
You don't need to practice it.
No. Let me tell you about Kim Kardashian. Oh my gosh, can you believe this? And does the listener care? So, and actually, not even if they care, are they listening long enough for you to get the numbers to sell your advertising? Go back to that. So, AI could be a tool. I don't know who's actually jumping on the bandwagon to use this yet. I haven't heard it on any radio station. I've just seen demos of it and been impressed, but
I mean, it's really new still too. So I think we probably will have a couple months until we really see somebody doing it.
Yeah.
That's my guess though.
I'm thinking years. I think
You think so?
Yeah. Before there's more and more mainstream people. I could be wrong.
Okay.
That happens a lot.
Well, you've seen a lot of things happen in the radio. So, because how long have you been doing this for?
1991 is when I started in high school. Oh my gosh, I'm old.
Wow. That's okay.
Where's my life flirt button?
So, I mean, what is the future then of radio, do you think? Like, do you think this is going to be a good career? You said that a lot of people go into sports.
It's a total horrible career. I tell my students this. I said,
and he does it himself.
Actually, no, I don't work in radio. I work at the university.
That's true.
I got
you
out
do.
of radio. And it's funny how many of my radio peers would love to trade places with me. I got friends that are working in top 10 markets, and they're making some really good money. They're like, I'll trade places with you right now. Even the salary.
Just like the stability or what?
Yeah, they want the stability. They want the stress that comes with getting out of radio. A lot of stress in radio.
Okay.
For example, a friend of mine was doing live commercials on the air for, I think it was BMW dealership. And BMW said, hey, we're going to cancel our contract. Well, that dropped his pay $12,000 a year. Boom. Because he was getting paid $1,000 a month just to be like, hey, come on down to the BMW dealership and doing that live on a show every day. They made one decision, and then he lost $12,000 a year in salary. Probably made it up someplace else, but as a career, I tell the students, come here, use the facilities, learn how to use the different programs, the programs that you can use in other areas in your life, Adobe Audition, and learning how to do some podcasting, and learning how to talk, learning how to prepare what you're going to say. And these are all skills that are applicable in other areas besides radio. And so come play on the radio for a couple semesters, have some fun, and then go get like a real job doing something else. Go and do accounting or become a lawyer or do something where you can actually make some money. But on the other hand, I say, if you really want to do this, these are the skills you need to do, need to have, and these are the people that I can direct you to, and this is the path that you want to go down. As for sports broadcasting, a lot of these guys want to eventually get into TV sports broadcasting, and most sports broadcasters come from a radio background. So, and with that, they have the opportunity here to do sports and whatnot and learn.
Okay. So I guess be prepared with other things to think of. I think that's also true because the world of work, and maybe I'd mentioned this in a different episode, but the world of work is not just stagnant. It's always moving. It's always changing. And so even a certain job that existed might stop existing, and jobs that didn't exist can start existing.
Yeah.
And so it really comes down to probably
15 years ago, social media manager? What's that?
Yeah.
What's social media? And now it's a thing.
Yeah. Well, I was even hearing too about the AI stuff. In Chat GPT, they're hiring prompt engineers, I think is what they're calling them.
Okay.
And so that's just like when you're asking Chat GPT to do something. So they're hiring people to come up with prompts to get specific answers. And so that's another weird job that's coming about. And so I think there's still a lot of things that you can do. You're saying audiobooks and stuff. So, talk about some of the new things that you've added to your specific facility here in the Utah Tech Radio.
Oh my. Well, I got here 12 years ago and I was handed a big pile of crap to deal with. Somebody else's words, not mine. So we revamped the station and we turned it into what it is now. It's now the Blaze. And then we got a second radio station. And so we made that like a classical jazz talkie station. And we're working on a third radio station, which is going to be a multicultural, Polynesian, Spanish, Indian, Native American station here. We have this room that we're in, the podcast room. I have a voiceover booth on the other side of the wall here that you can go in there and have a nice, super quiet room to record whatever things audio you want to record. So, and see, what else is in there? Oh, yeah, and we have Miss Pac-Man. That's important to know.
A Miss Pac-Man machine for video games.
So I've tried to, get all the things with radio.
Okay.
Even though I say don't go into radio, I still try to run this as a real radio station. We have the tent, and we have the remote gear, and we have all the mics and the headphones and stuff. But I'm like, what else could we do? We also had, and I'm actually revamping that, a music recording room. So you can come in here and record music and whatnot. So other things, audio. Of course, podcasting seems to be the next evolution, which was just like, all right, great. Let's do this, and here it is.
Here we are.
And so that's where I'm at. And I'm running out of space, which means I'm running out of ideas.
Oh, no. Well, and then your neighbors, too. We're in the Communications Jennings building, essentially. And so how closely do you work with I think we have the ASL down the hallway. Across the hallway we have...
Not at all. I never work with them.
Oh, you don't work
Ever.
with the...
Ever.
Really?
I don't even make eye contact. It's awkward.
With the newspaper across the hallway, you just don't look.
Well, in the past we've had the newspaper come over and do a radio show and/or podcast. So we've had that. We're trying to take some of the podcasts that we're doing here to put them on CEC television.
Oh, okay.
We're trying to work with so there is some overlap here and there that we're trying to accomplish. And so ideas are great, but getting them done is that takes effort and time.
Yeah. Well, it's also, you're being your own, this is corny, you're being a trailblazer to come up with new things.
Wah, wah.
To come up with new things and figure out ways to make it look better.
I'm just trying to keep myself important. If I was just the
working.
If I was just the radio guy, I'd be out of a job. But now I'm, hey, podcast guy, Shawn, he's important.
It's working though. So too, you made the transition to university. So you're essentially doing teaching as well.
Yeah.
So, is that something that you thought you would ever end up doing?
Actually, I
teaching
thought I would.
about this kind of stuff?
For the longest time, I always thought I would be in a position like this, teaching radio, because I liked radio, but I like the idea of college radio and what the things that you can do here. It's more fun. It can be more fun. You have more leeway with things you probably can't do on normal radio. And I thought it'd be fun just to be able to say, hey, let's teach. This is how you do stuff. This is how you get started.
Okay. And so you get a different, I guess, sort of student that comes in to probably want to do this kind of stuff, or maybe even just students that happen to have this class, because it is a class that you can take.
It is a class, yeah. So there's a class, there's a grade, there's credit. I have some students think that it should be equal to intramural basketball.
Oh, no.
We should just come in and do what we want. I'm like, it's not cool.
It's a job.
Well, the downside of that is it's public airwaves too.
Right.
So whatever, if you're playing intramural basketball or doing whatever homework assignment, it mostly only affects you. You do the assignment, you don't, it doesn't matter. Here, you get on the radio, people hear you. And I've had that happen a number of times where, people will say either good or bad things on the radio, and I will hear about it from random strangers, phone calls, emails, or whatnot. So there's a little more seriousness. I mean, if you knew, it's singing in the shower. People sing in the shower because nobody's around. Now, if I was to take that exact same person who's singing in the shower and put them on stage with 100 people watching,
Yeah.
well, that's what I try to tell the students. I'm like, you think you're alone. You think nobody's listening, but you'll be surprised how many people actually are listening. So if you're in that little room just like, ha, made a stupid joke, it's like, no, there's somebody in their car going, yeah, that was a stupid joke.
Oh, no. What's funny is that I try having other members of the office come in to do this podcast, and some of them they don't want to be on the podcast because they don't want their voice to be on.
I don't want people to know what I sound like.
I know. But now I've been sitting here this whole time thinking about my voice and what it sounds like.
No, not like that. You just get closer to the mic.
Just get closer.
Just get closer. You don't have to do it because you're dropping it down. No, you don't have to do that.
Squeeze the
you can just get
esophagus.
Get a little quieter. Get a little quieter. Then get you can you see how I'm like right on top of the microphone? I'm like almost eating it. You see? And you get that voice.
Sorry, I just snorted.
You just snorted. Oh my gosh.
Oh, no.
All righty. Well, we're going to be taking caller number 9 here at 435-867. Caller number 9 will win a pair of tickets to go to the Staley Family Farm.
See, now I'm so self-conscious about my voice, though, because I feel like it's kind of raspy and squeaky at the same time. How's that a thing?
That's the cool thing about radio is you don't have to sound like this. You can sound like this and just have a good old time as well. You can have a good old time and excited. And there's plenty of people that don't have, quote, radio voice. And I almost hate hearing that term radio voice. It's just like, it's personality. Most people don't watch content and go, wow, listen to the quality and the tonal resonations of that voice. No. Are they funny or are they not? Am I informed or am I not? It's not, wow. And usually the guys with the wow voice don't have much to say anyways.
I don't know why that's so funny. So, I mean, when it comes to the students taking these classes and I guess what it takes to exist in this industry, what are some skills, some tips that you have for those people?
I think overall in media, you have to be a multimedia person. Radio is just one spoke in that wheel. So do you know radio? Do you know podcast? Can you talk? Can you form a sentence? Can you record audio? Can you edit audio? Can you publish audio? Of short and long. That's just one part. And then we're getting into the video part. Then we're getting into the news and then sports, any type of social media and Twitter and different posts for different social media. So can you put together the same story 10 to 15 different ways and deliver it? And I think that's something that a student who walks out here, that's what they need to be able to do. So whether they're getting a job at a TV station, a radio station, as a podcast manager, as a social media manager, can you, again, tell that same story different ways? Audio, video, written, short form, long form, whatever it may be. And that's something that I hope that we do more here out of our department to be able to put out well-rounded students. A lot of students who come in, they're like, I want to do just this. And they become really good at one thing, and then they miss out on the other 80% that's actually going to get them the job.
Yeah. I mean, I'm even thinking, too, about some students. I mean, you talk about storytelling. I think that's perfect for people who are in the College of Art or an English major or something like that, that this is a great place to start having those experiences. What is the class called?
Radio Practicum.
Okay.
I also call it radio and podcasting. So it's I think it's MDIA 2380, and then that gets you hands-on experience on the radio. I also teach an audio production class where we go over basic audio. That's 1560 audio production, and that's just learning how mics and speakers and basic recording works as well. So that gets
you get to set it up and stuff too.
No, it's all set up here. So here's the microphone, here's an assignment. So record something, edit it. Record something more complex, edit it, etc.
Okay. Yeah, I'm really bad at that kind of stuff.
Come take the class.
I know, I probably should actually. I've been trying to create videos for our office. That's like an Adobe
and Premiere, Premiere
thing. So I don't know.
Well-rounded.
Okay, Shawn. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you being here.
Oh, it just means you couldn't find anybody else. I understand.
No, I wanted you here. He sits in that corner over there, and I wanted him to come be on here.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Yes, if you ever want to join, just swap somebody's places.
Maybe next time.
Thanks for listening to Trail Talks, a podcast discussing the opportunities students have with career services at Utah Tech University. For more information, go to career.utahtech.edu. Till next time, this has been Trail Talks. This has been a production from a podcast studio.